coordinator, Mr. Shrikant Patil, Assistant Professor, Department of Botany, Mr. Rupesh Dahake sir, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, Dr. H.P. Mungse sir, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, Dr. S.S. Sharma, Assistant Professor, Department of Physics, all respected faculty members and students. If I am not wrong, we never think about the advantage of our talent for the betterment of society. Our attitude being unilateral. How can I achieve any educational parameters for the betterment of myself that is limited to particular person? But when our attitude, that is the way of thinking, is bilateral, then it will be advantageous to our education, qualification, and important for the society and social aspect for the betterment of future generation. That's why today Knowledge Resource Center and IQSC organizing 2 days national level webinar on property rights and patenting. For detailed outline of program and introduction of speaker, I would like to invite Professor R. Kurkar sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Vidya madam. It gives me immense pleasure to provide the feast of intellectual property right and patenting in the recent era. The theme is very contemporary and very useful for today's educational scenario. That's why we have selected the theme for the today's national level webinar. This webinar will be conducted on both days, today and tomorrow. Today, the theme of this webinar is information property rights, intellectual property rights, copyrights, its application, the barriers while achieving the property rights, various aspects of intellectual property rights. In this regard, my college team, that is our leader, Dr. Y.B. Gandule sir, has open-heartedly permitted us to conduct this national level webinar. He is a source of inspiration for we people. Dr. A.G. Naranje sir, IQC coordinator, he has open-heartedly assisted me while conducting and cooperating in the conduction of this program. Professor Dahake, Professor Mungse, Professor Patil, Madam Vidare, Madam Sharma, all these team members have taken a pains to make this program successful and good conducting. Now the time is to introduce the today's eminent speaker, the guest speaker, Professor Dr. Khede sir. He is a very eminent personality in the field of in LIS, Library and Information Science. Sir is presently working as a director, Knowledge Research Center, Sant Gadge Baba, Amravati University, Amravati in Maharashtra. Sir has 13 years of experience as a directorship at Sant Gadge Baba, Amravati University, Amravati. Sir has 19 years of experience as a college librarian and 14 years of experience as a teacher in LIS field. Sir has a very huge profile. It is not possible to me to elaborate all these things in a very stipulated span of time, but I am trying my level best. There are two books on the name of Dr. Kherde sir. He has edited two conference proceedings in his lifespan of LIS. Sir has around 26 papers in conferences, journals. Sir has around 24 conference papers in regional, national, international level conferences. Sir has headed the editorial boardship of journals, that is 6. Under his able guidance, 7 students are awarded PhD degree. One is recently submitted and 5 under process. Sir has visited China for conference purpose. A very remarkable thing, the was ex vice president of Indian Library Association, and now presently he is heading as a president of MUKLA, that is Maharashtra University College Library Association. Sir has organized 17 conferences, workshops, seminars, and 7 short-term courses as well. Sir has a keen interest in playing cricket, singing, acting, and writing. The very remarkable thing in his lifespan, that is he has awarded ILA Promoter Award in 1995 and 96, and ILA has felicitated sir with Best Academic Librarian Award in 2014. With these words, I welcome you, sir, for this session. Thankful for accepting our invitation and attending the seminar. Kindly, thank you, sir. Over to you, madam.
Thank you, sir. Now it's time for a welcome speech. I request Honorable Dr. Yogendra Gandore, sir, to deliver the welcome speech. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, all the participants, ladies and gentlemen. I am very happy to be present here today in this national conference on intellectual property rights, education and training, as well as patenting your research work. Friends, myself is a principal of this college. Our college is a very old college in Vidarbha region in Amravati district. Established in 1961 and promoting the education in various fields, art, science, college, science and commerce field, from undergraduate, postgraduate, and having research facility in all these 3 streams. Our college conducts such programs very frequently so that how the knowledge should be transformed to the researcher, to the educationalist, to the student. And today I am very happy that this program, Intellectual Property Rights, is to be going to organize. And I am first of all congratulates and thanks the Department of Library and all the members of Internal Quality Assurance Cell for their entire efforts to make this program very successful. Dear friends, today we have very great personality, Dr. Mohan Kherade sir, Director, Knowledge Resource Center of Sant Gadge Baba Amravati University, and Professor S.S. Sandhu, Department of Biological Science, RD University, Jabalpur. On behalf of the college, I welcome and thank you, sir, very much for giving us your precise time and how this knowledge should be converted into property. These are the main themes for the new researcher. In all the field of research, those who are getting their PhDs, but they don't know how this knowledge should be converted in our own properties. And that is the intellectual property rights. We have so many properties, but we can't take the interest on it. Our knowledge should be converted into property. Why? Only because of initial fear and hurdles. And that initial fear and hurdles should be removed by using these webinars and the knowledge that should be provided by Kherade sir and the Sandhu. I hope these webinars will be very beneficial to you for your future, that the thesis or the research should be converted into copyrights, and whatever may be the knowledge, not only research, your singing, your great habits, how it should be copyrighted and how to get the patent, that is very important. So the legal knowledge in these 2 days, I hope that these all intellectual enrich and cultural stimulated webinars will be beneficial to you. So thank you very much to one and all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And now the wait is over. What we are waiting for. I would like to invite today's speaker, respected Dr. Manoj Khede, sir, to discuss the valuable guidance to all of us. Over to you, sir. Khede, sir.
Thank you, madam. I just want to share my screen. Is it visible? Yes, is it visible?
Yes, sir. Visible.
Yes, sir. Okay. Good afternoon, all of you. Today's national webinar on intellectual property right and patenting, roadmap to make India the next innovation hub. This national webinar, organizing by Adarsha Science, Arts and Commerce College. The chairman and the principal of this session, Dr. Yogendra Gandole sir. Organizer, Dr. Raju Kuralkar and Dr. A.G. Naranje, other faculty members of the college, research scholars, and ladies and gentlemen. Today, this particular session, it is specially for intellectual property right. So, you know all friends that today every nation in the world tries to become a supremo, tries to lead the world. But unless and until we are not strong in research and innovation, it will not be possible to lead the world. Of course, our nation, India, trying to go ahead and attempting to go on top. But as I told, it is not possible without concentrating on the research as well as innovations. In the wake of globalization, it is utmost important to be ahead in innovation and creativeness to compete the stiff competition in technology and trade. India is well known for software engineering and missile technology, then other technology also. Means Indian minds have much demand in the world so far as science and technology is concerned. But what is the situation? What is the exact situation today? Because what facility we have in our nation for research? What is the condition of research in higher education? Friends, if I am saying that only 2% research in higher education is really applicable in the society, then it is not exaggeration. It means 98% research is in the cupboard. It is not applying for the society. If you just say, yes, we have this intellectual property, we have intellectual minds, much more demand for Indian scientists all over the world. But what is the real position of India so far as patenting is concerned or intellectual property is concerned? What report says? US Chamber of Commerce, the report of US Chamber of Commerce published in 2021. What it says? According to that report, in intellectual property right, India stood on 40th position amongst 52 countries. If you just see the IP index as per the US Chamber of Commerce, our IP index is only 38.4%. If we compare our intellectual property with intellectual property of United States of America, the index of IP index of United States of America is 95.8%. It means at this stage, so far as research is concerned, I'm not only saying research, but so far as intellectual property is concerned, India is far away from the status of United States of America. In the world, 10 countries index is more than 90%. Of course, in last 2 years, our index is raised from 36% to 38%. But even though we have to achieve a lot, if we have to become a leader of the world, when we are seeing the dream about the leadership in the world, we have to achieve a lot. Why it is happened that our intellectual property right index is only 36.8 or 38.4? It is only because there is no awareness regarding the IPR in our country. Because of lack of IPR awareness, what happened? Number one, death of invention. There is a lack regarding the awareness of IPR. Because of that, it is nothing but the result is that death of invention, high risk of infringement, economic loss, and decline of an intellectual era in the country. These are the problems we are facing because we are not aware about intellectual property. So we should aware about that what intellectual property is. Now, first of all, we'll see property. intellectual property is another thing, but property, what is property? Property means it is any item that a person or a business has legal title over. If you just purchase land, you have to register yourself in the register office. Means you must have legal title. Yes, unless and until you have not legal title, you cannot say that that land is mine. Similarly, you have your invention, you have your intellectual property. But if it is not being registered, then you cannot claim that that is your intellectual property. It is similar, our home, our land, our farm, we have to register in the registry office. Our property signifies dominion or right of use, control, and disposition which one may lawfully exercise over things, objects, or land. Once you register your property, you can say it is my property. You can control over it. You can sell it. You can use it. But for that, you have to register your property. Yes. So when we talk about property, then there are two types of properties: tangible property and intangible property. Land, house, farm, an industry, and a building, all these are tangible type property. So far as intangible property is concerned, this intangible property we cannot see because it is created from human brain. Yes. Now, through invention, through research, we have to develop this property. Every researcher knows that when you have to go for research, when you have to inventing something, you need manpower, you need time, you need energy, you need skill, you need money. All these things you require to go for research, go for invention. When you are investing all these things, in the invention, in the research, then why you should not register it in the form of IPR? When you registered this property, your intellectual property, then it is known as intangible property. Means tangible property we can see, we can touch, but intangible property we cannot see because it is created through our brain. Whatever be the property, whether it is tangible or intangible, it should be registered. Once you register these properties, you can say it is my property. Nobody can use it without your permission. If your land, without your permission, nobody can build any building on that land. If you have farmhouse and farm, nobody can use that farm without your permission. So you have to register this property. Similarly, this intellectual property which is created through your brain, it should be registered. If you are not registered your invention, what will happen? Other may claim it is my invention. So it should be registered. What is intellectual property then? We discuss now. Intellectual property is a broad categorical description for the set of intangible assets owned and legally protected by a company from outside use or implementation without consent. We already discussed. Once you registered your intangible property, nobody can claim. You can use it as you wish. You can sell it and you can earn the money from that. Yes, when I'm saying that, you utilize lot of manpower, your lot of money, your time, your skill in developing this intellectual property, that intangible asset, then why should not be registered? I already told that in India, much more skill is there. Much more research is going on. But very few research is registered. And that's why in the US Chamber of Commerce report, our index is very low as compared to other countries. It should be raised. Now in 2021, it is 38.4. It should be raised if you have to compete with other developed countries. If you have to lead the world, then in that condition, we should register our research, our invention, and put it before the world. Because on that basis, on that index, our GDP may be increased. Then according to World Intellectual Property Organization, intellectual property refers to creation of the mind, such as inventions, literary and artistic works, designs and symbols, names and images used in commerce. Means intellectual property doesn't mean that only the research, only the invention. Apart from that, your literary work, your logo, your picture, your drawing, your design, all will come under the intellectual property. Because when you have to draw something, in that case, you have to imagine something. That imagination comes from brain, through observation. When you have to design something, again, you have to think through your brain. Yes? So, whatever be the things, though it is invention, though it is literary work, though it is design, symbol, or drawing, it will come through mind. And therefore, it is intangible property. Now, when we are talking about World Intellectual Property Organization, it is established in Stockholm in 1967 to take care of intellectual property all over the world. But after that, from 1974, it was from that 1974, from that period, since 1974, it is one of the agency of United Nations who care about intellectual property right. And these are the objectives of this World Intellectual Property Organization. Why just we put this part? Because in true sense, in 1967, this intellectual property term is coming to existence. Before that, invention was there. Before that, you can say research was there. Design was there. But all these were not being registered. But from 1967, the World Intellectual Property Organization started and this part is coming to existence. Now, so far as characteristic of IPR is concerned, What is the characteristic? It is kind of intelligible property. We already discussed on that part. That is a feature or characteristics that it is a kind of intangible property. It gives right as well as duties to owner. IPR, intellectual property right. Once it is registered, you will get as a researcher, as a designer, as an artist, you will get the right. But apart from that, you should have a duties also. Intellectual property laws are mainly territorial and apply only within the relevant competence. It means that if you registered your IPR in India, its scope is limited to the nation only. Then rights are transferable by contract. Means you can transfer your rights to others. But for that, you have to sign contract. Means that is also a characteristic of IPR. Rights expire after a certain period. Once you register your intangible property, it has certain limit. It has expiry date. That expiry date depends on the types of IPR. If you just see about patenting, for patenting, 20 years are there. For copyright, 60 years are there. It depends on. If in trademark, 10 years is there. Means there is variety in the expiry date. But after that expiry date, you can renew your registration. But if you just compare it with tangible property, in tangible property, there is not expiry date. Once you registered your property, tangible property, your land, in the registry office, there is no expiry date.
ज्ञानी विद्या भारती हो सकता है।
Hello? Hello?
हेलो हेलो सर, आपने प्रेजेंटेशन सर शुरू किया है क्या? पावर पॉइंट प्रेजेंटेशन?
हाँ,
सर वो ब्लैंक स्क्रीन दिख रहा है सर, प्रेजेंटेशन नहीं दिख रहा था। प्लीज
मैंने पहले पूछा था दिख रहे क्या करके। ओके ओके, मैं फिर से ये करता हूँ।
जी सर, जी थैंक यू।
Just a minute.
Yes, sir, sure.
Now? Yes? It is visible now? Is it visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Yes, sir. Okay. So we are talking about characteristics of IPR. Yes. So we are saying that it is intangible property that we already discussed. Then it gives right. Once you just registered your intangible property, you will get some right for using it or sell it. Then again, third characteristic of IPR is that it is territorial basis. I mean, when you just registered in India, that means you can the scope is up to India. Your IPR, if you register your IPR, yes, your intangible property, it can be transferable. Means, for example, if you have to sell your land, you can sell your land. If you sell your land, that register will be on other name. Yes. Similarly, intangible property also you can transfer, but there you have to make some contract. Then for that intellectual property, right, there is certain period, there is certain expiry date. Yes, that is a characteristic of that. Most intellectual property rights need first to apply for examined and then registered, only copyright arise automatically. It means that for copyright, you need not to apply LCR. It will get automatically. But other intellectual property, they need registration. Then types of IPR. Now there are two types of IPR. IPR means intellectual property right. One is copyright and related rights, and second is industrial property. Means this intangible property, it is bifurcated in two parts: copyrights and industrial property. Under copyright, databases, reference work, computer programs, architecture, book, technical drawing. All these come under copyright. Yes, all this part, that is databases, reference works, computer programs, architecture, books, and technical drawing. It comes under copyright. And trademark, patents, geographical indications, and industrial designs, it comes under industrial property. Means if you write a book, you cannot make patenting. Yes, for that you have to go for copyright. If you develop database or if you develop computer program, you have to go for copyright. Yes, means these two parts are there: copyright and related rights and industrial property. But both are intellectual property, right? Now, first is copyright. Now, copyright, it is a legal term used to describe the rights that creators have over their literary and artistic work. I already told you, when we are thinking about copyright, means you have to go for literary work or artistic work. Then it will be a copyright. Works covered by copyright range from books, music, paintings, sculpture, and films to computer programs, databases, advertisements, maps, and technical drawings. Means this list is that for book, you have to go for copyright. For music, painting, sculpture, all this come under copyright. Other films, computer programs, databases, advertisement, maps, technical drawings, all these are come under copyright. Means if you just create all these things, then you have to go for copyright. You cannot go for patenting. Now, copyright covers all these things. Yes. Literary, scientific work, musical work, artistic work, photographic work, motion pictures, computer programs, maps, technical drawings. It comes under copyright. Now rights granted to a copyright owners. Now, actually, two rights are there. One is economic rights and second is moral right. Means once you go for copyright, you have two kinds of rights. That is economic rights and moral rights. Now, in economic rights, the copyright owner has two options. Number one, granting license which permit others to use the copyright materials. Means you have a license. Suppose you have your own work, your book, your article, your painting, your musical work. You can give permission to others to use this material. That's come under economic rights. Or you can selling your ownership. Means you can sell your copyright. Means you can transfer your book to others and you can sell your book so that other can use your book in any way. For example, digitization. Many people think that digital library means whatever be the books in the library in print form, it should be digitized. But friends, we cannot digitize the book, print book, without permission of the copyright owner or author. Yes, because being a director, being a librarian, we have to face this problem. Many persons, researchers, or authority, it says that you have to digitize all the books available in the library, but it's not possible because every book has its copyright owner, and copyright owner either author or publisher. So far as our research article is concerned, once you submit your research article for publication in the journal, now copyright owner is publisher, not you, not author. Yes. So when you use these articles, these books for your research work, you have to acknowledge that, you have to cite, you have to provide reference. If you're not providing reference, you are not going to cite it, it is a part of plagiarism. Similarly, what is your second option? You can sell it. Suppose a book, I have to digitize it. Being author, I will sell it. My copyright, I will sell it. And after that, once my permission, I permit to digitize it, it can be digitized. Means two options are there. Second is moral right. Right to claim authorship of work. Means second, in copyright, one economic right is there and second is moral right is there. In moral right, I can claim, yes, it is my work. This book is mine. I can claim it. And second is, you can prevent others to claiming on that. Suppose a book is, author is, myself is an author, and somebody is saying that no, it is my book. Because of copyright, I can prevent it. I can say it, no, it is my work, it is not your work. So that is copyright. Now, when copyright is there, then plagiarism part comes. I already told you, when you have to use the ideas, when you have to use previously published article for your research work, yes, you can use it because research cannot develop individually. For that, you have to search the literature which is published, which already published. And on the basis of that published article, published literature, you have to develop your research. So while using all these things, if you use these articles, this literature in your research work without giving any credit to the previous author, then it comes under plagiarism. So that's why plagiarism means it's a piece of writing that has been copied from someone else and is presented as being your own work. Means cut and paste system, it comes under plagiarism. Not only cut and paste, but if just you use ideas of others in your research, then you have to give credit to that person. Otherwise, it will come under Copyright Act. That is plagiarism. Yes, means copyright. If you have copyright, it means you can claim that this work is mine. Yes, so that when others using your idea, when someone using your work in their work, in that case, that person has to give credit to you in the form of citation, in the form of reference. Otherwise, it will come under Copyright Act. It is called plagiarism. And you know all, there is some charges. University Grant Commission, wide its regulation published on 31st July 2018. It is clearly mentioned that there should not be similarity, there should not be plagiarism more than 10% in thesis, in research article, in books, in dissertation. Means up to 10% it is tolerable. But if it is about 10%, punishment is there if somebody found guilty. So utmost care should be taken while doing research, while developing your research report, because you have to follow Copyright Act. Then trademark. Now you know all trademark, what trademark is. Trademark is a sign capable of distinguishing the goods or services of one enterprises from those of other enterprises. Means trademark is nothing but symbol. Trademark is nothing but word. Because of that word, because of that symbol, two companies can be differentiated. Two person can be differentiated. Because person is known by their name. Yes. Then trademark is a unique sign used to identify a product or service. Adidas. Yes, that is trademark. Okay, now just see. It covers under trademarks. Trademarks mean traditional mark. Traditional mark means words, name, surname, geographical name, then slogan, etc. come under traditional mark. Means letters, numerals, drawing, logo, symbol, face, image, design, all these come under traditional mark or combination of all these things. We can quote example. Chitare. Yes, Chitare is a name, but it is famous for, you know all. Yes, Raghuveer. In Amravati, Raghuveer is there. It is trademark because it's a name. Nobody can use that name for the same product. Yes. Adidas is there. Bata is there. Bata is a trademark of shoes. Yes. Nobody can use that design and name. Yes. Maruti Suzuki, Honda, all these are come under traditional mark. That is trademark. Now smell. Smell means smell of soap, smell of beer, smell of coffee. All these smells are also trademarking. Same smell you cannot use for other part. If you just take smell of soap, different soap, you will find that different smells are there because all these are trademark. Then audible sign or sound mark. Now you know national TV music or ABV Maza sound, that music. Nobody can use same music for other part. Means that is trademarking. Color. Red Cross. Everybody know Red Cross means. Yes. You can use cross, but you cannot use color red. In veterinary also, veterinary doctors also use cross, but their color is different. Then shape mark means in 2D form, in 3-dimension form, in 2-dimension form, All these are come under trademark. Now, if you have to register for trademark, you have to first search for trademark, or sign, for logo, for smear. If you are interested in color, you have to choose color. Means you have to search first trademark. Trademark is used for, can say, enterprise purpose, for shop, or you can say for industry, for product, for service. Yes, means all these are you have to use, and when you have to provide some trademark, you have to search the logo. Then you have to file the application. Then you will after filing the application, the examination part is there. Examination means not like our university examination. Examination part means they just search it. It should not duplication should not be there. Then it published for society, and after that they will give you register. If somebody just say that no, this particular symbol is mine, this trademark is mine, you cannot give to others, it is already registered. Suppose such kind of things are there, for that you have to means that register office publish your proposed symbol, and after that you will get certificate. But trademark expire after 10 years. After 10 years means you have to register your trademark, renew your trademark for registration. You can use the symbol, logo before registration. If you are using your logo and after some time, after some period, if you apply for that logo for registration, you can do it. But if it is already registered, then you have to take back. Otherwise, you will get that symbol also. Trademark registration office are at Mumbai, at Delhi, at Calcutta, Ahmedabad, and Chennai. Yes, means that part is there. But while selecting the trademark, you have to just take precaution. These are the precautionary measures you are seeing on the screen. Do good search. Why do good search? Because when you select for symbol, it should not be registered previously. Otherwise, after application, because there are certain fee, you have to go for registration through agent. You have to pay something 10,000 rupees for registration of your trademark. If you just without searching, you just go for that particular trademark, that symbol or logo, you have to pay 10,000 rupees. And after that, after submission of your application, if it is already been registered by somebody else, then your application may be rejected. So go for search, select good symbol, because once it is registered, you cannot change it. Do not use the name of any geographic location. Why? Because many times these geographic location use somebody else. Nagpuri Sandra. Yes, you cannot use it. Do not choose abandoned mark, any mark. You don't choose such mark. Do not make any clerical error in the logo. Yes, if you just Adarsha Mahavidyalaya, spelling is A-D-A-R-S-H-A. If you write A-D-A-R-S-H-A, but your spelling is A-D-A-R-S-H, that is clerical mistake. So don't do like this before submission of application for trademark. Do not use very common words, because common words are used many times. So don't use common words while register for trademark. Do not try to take phonetical similar mark. Do not just file for word mark, also file for logo mark separately. Means word mark and logo mark should be applied for separately. Do not file without affidavit of usage. Means these are the precautions while submitting for trademark. You have to for that you have to apply in the trademark office in Maharashtra. Mumbai is there, that is head office. So you can apply at head office also. Now patent, because all these are intellectual property right. I am not discussing here how to patenting, how to go for patenting, how to go for trademarking. I just say what exactly trademarking is, what is copyright, what is patent. Yes. So a patent is an exclusive right granted for an invention, because patent is for invention. Copyright is different thing. We already discussed. Copyright is different thing. Patent is for invention. Generally speaking, a patent provides the patent owner with the right to decide how or whether the invention can be used for others. Means once your invention is patented, now it is your right how to use it. Yes, that is your right now. In exchange for this right, the patent owner makes technical information about the invention publicly available in the published patent document. Your invention is, once you get patent, your invention is, you will get it in patent document and anybody can see it. A patent is an exclusive right to an invention that introduces a new solution or a technique. If you own a patent, you are the only person who can manufacture, distribute, sell, or commercially use that product. Means once you get patent of a particular product, particular invention, you will get exclusive right to sell it, distribute it, or manufacture it, or distribute it, what it may be. Yes. And patents are usually granted for a period of 20 years. I already told you, every intellectual property right, intellectual property, every intangible property has certain period. In tangible part, if you just discuss about tangible part, tangible product, once you registered, it is registered forever, unless until you are not selling it. But in intangible property, it has certain limit. So for patent, it is 20 years. In copyright, if just see copyright, in copyright what happened? It is 60 years are there. Means up to 60 years. Means 60 year is the expiry date for copyright. In patent, 20 year is expiry date. In trademark, 10 year is expiry date. But when we are talking about copyright, because you know, Copyright Act is introduced on 4 June 1957, and that's why it is not Copyright Act 1957. It is amended in 1994. When Copyright Act amended in 1994, in that case, computer program is introduced in that copyright. Again in 2012, it is amended. Means, what is that? The amendment is there. In that amendment, it is clearly mentioned that copyright goes to author, who is a creator. He will be the owner of that copyright. The expiry of that copyright is that when the author is died. After death of the copyright owner, author from that day 60 years it will expire date. Means suppose an author of a book died in 1990. Now count from 1991, 60 years. It is 2051. Means up to 2051, it is a right of that author and it's legal here. Yes, Varadar. But after 2051, it is expired. Then anybody can use that part. Now here digitization is there. Suppose librarian has to digitize the book available in his library. He can digitize up 60 years after the death of that author. Otherwise, you have to seek the permission of that author or it's legal here. So that's why I'm saying that in copyright is expired 60 years. 60 years. After 60 years, it's expired. Now, so far as film is there, film is not a property of one person. Yes, so film is there. When film is released, suppose film is released in 1990, from the date of its release, then 60 years. Mean in 2050, its copyright is expired. So similar, but in patent law, once is registered, once your registered file from that day is 20 years. After 20 years, you have to take renewal of the patent. Criteria for patent. The invention must be novel. To which part you will get patent? Your invention should be novel. It must be new and should not be published or available in prior art of the country or elsewhere in the world before the date of patent filing. That means when you have to file the patent, your material should not be published. Once it is published, you cannot go for patent. It must be unique. An improvement in the current technology by an individual cannot be patented. It should be invention. It should be invention. Because in research, when we are doing research, it is not invention. But because in research, RE and search, research means you are improving the current technology or previous technology in research. But in your research, if invention is there, it is appearing in first time, then you can go for patent. The invention must have industrial applicability or applied for practical purpose. Yes, your invention is unique. You are inventing it. It is the first time. But there is no application for industry. There is no application for society. And you cannot be patented. It must be useful. It should add value to the life of the common man. Means your invention should be for society. It should be useful for society. It must not benefit for support the use of illegal things. At first, yes. No, what not? What is not? Yes. What is not patented? Useless, foolish, that invention should not be patented. Invention against the natural law, against natural law, it should not be patented. No fear to health of human, animal, plant, environment. Yes, it should not be patented. Related to atomic energy, your invention should not be against the security of the country. Mere arrangement and rearrangement of the devices, it is not also you cannot patent it. Means what is not patented, that is there. Yes. So geographical indication. Geographical indication states that a product belongs to a specific region and has quality or reputation owing to the region. I just quoted one example of Nagpuri Sandra, Nasik grapes, Kashmir apples, means this known as geographical indications. Yes, olive oil from Tuscany is a product protected by the geographical indication. This is only example. Then industrial design. And industrial design is what makes a product unique and attractive. These may be include 3D. 2D. Means all these are, for example, shape of Coca-Cola bottle. It is an example of industrial design. Yes, shape of car. Yes, if you just compare the shape of car, you will find that every car is in different shape because the shape is it is IPR. It come under IPR. That is known as industrial design. All these are come under IPR. So thank you very much. I just try to put the concept of intellectual property right and what exactly intellectual property right is. If you just say what are the intellectual property right, so patent is not only a intellectual property right. Along with copyright is there, industrial design is there, geographical indication is there, trademark is there. All these are come under IPR, and we must, because we all are researcher, we must, once you just come with the research work and your thesis is completed, then you must think towards the IPR. You have to submit your application for IPR. Once you get the registration, now you will be the owner of your research work. So you can use it as you wish, you can distribute it, and you can use as you want. So thank you very much for giving me opportunity to put my views regarding IPR, because this IPR is a very important thing today. Every researcher must aware about these things. So again, I put my sincere thanks for organizer. Thank you very much.
थँक्यू सो मच सर. इन मराठी विषय ज्ञान ही अशी संपत्ती आहे की जी कोणीही चोरू शकत नाही. बट आफ्टर हिअरिंग यू सर, we came to know that our knowledge, our ideas are not safe until you register it, and that is copyrighted or patented. Sir, you have beautifully explained all the corners of IPR, from characteristics of IPR, its types, how one can get copyright, rights granted to copyright owner, trademarks, difference between the copyright and patent. I want to quote one famous statement by Mr. Shiv Khera. Winners don't do anything different, but they do things differently. Means if you want to be a winner, do things differently and get copyright of it and patent it. Thank you so much, sir. Now, the last but not the least, I would like to invite respected Dr. S.V. Manore sir for vote of thanks. Before that, I want to mention that feedback link will be provided after the program. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon to everyone. I am Dr. Sachin Manore, working as assistant professor at the Department of Chemistry, and I am here to express the vote of thanks for the first day of this 2 days national level webinar on intellectual property rights and patenting. I express my sincere thanks to the chairperson of this session, Dr. YB Gandwade sir, Principal Adarsh Science, JB Arts and Birla Commerce Mahavidyalaya, Dhamanggaon Railway. Thank you, sir, for your valuable guidance and encouraging us in all the ways. Thank you so much, sir. I would like to express my sincere thanks to Dr. Mohan Kherde sir, Director, Knowledge Resource Center, Sant Gadge Baba, Amravati University, Amravati, for being with us and sharing your knowledge and enlightening us on the topic IPR and patenting. Today's talk was full of knowledge, and sir has explained us right from what our situation, what our status in the global scenario with respect to the IPR, as well as our awareness about the IPR, types of properties, tangible, intangible, then the characteristics of IPR, types of IPR, copyrights and industrial properties. These are the types of IPR, economic and moral rights, and the plagiarism, as well as what comes under the plagiarism. I am sure the knowledge, the precious knowledge that Sir has given us will definitely helpful in our future career. Once again, I would like to thank Dr. Mohan Kherde sir for sharing his valuable time from his busy schedule and expertise with us. Thank you so much, sir. I also like to thank all the participants who were very patient listener throughout the session. At the last, I have to announce that the tomorrow's session will be engaged by Dr. Professor S.S. Sandhu sir, Department of Biological Sciences, RD University, Jabalpur, Madhya Pradesh. The session will start correctly at 1 p.m. and sir will talk on the process of patenting in India as well as abroad, rights and duties, and the patent protection processes and the barriers in the process of patenting. So with this, I would like to announce the session. Today's session is over, and we will see tomorrow on the same time. Thank you, Kherde sir,
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
and thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Over to you,
Thank you,
madam.
sir.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. With the permission of President, I declare this session is over. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Hello.
this procedure is to extract, visualize, and count the hemocytes from wild caterpillars. This is accomplished by first anesthetizing the caterpillar by placing it on ice, injecting it with a buffer solution containing an anticoagulant, and returning the caterpillar to the ice to allow the hemocytes to re-enter circulation before extraction. The second step is to make a shallow incision at the posterior end of the caterpillar using a clean scalpel. The overall goal of this procedure is to extract, visualize, and count the hemocytes from wild caterpillars. This is accomplished by first anesthetizing the caterpillar by placing it on ice, injecting it with a buffer solution containing an anticoagulant, and returning the caterpillar to the ice to allow the hemocytes to re-enter circulation before extraction. The second step is to make a shallow incision at the posterior end caterpillar. Scalpel. Next, the caterpillar is gently squeezed using soft forceps. Then, the buffer solution hemolymph mix is aspirated using a micropipette and collected in a microcentrifuge tube. The final step is to gently mix the hemolymph solution with an equal volume of buffer solution and transfer 10 microliters of the solution onto a hemocytometer to visualize and count the number of hemocytes. Ultimately,